What's going on, family? We are back with our friends joined on stream today for our patron appreciation night. And today we are thankful for our good friend H-Tan for getting us to check out another song from Asaf Avidan. Probably killed that name. Probably killed it. Don't kill me. Don't kill me, please. Song's called In a Box 2, Your Anchor. Sounds very artistic already, and that's what I say. What I've learned from my brief time with this artist is there's a lot to like unpack and think about with their music. So I'm excited to get into this one and just check out what this one's going to offer us. So let's go ahead and check it out. I didn't even realize this guy got down like this. You know what I mean? Like, you know, already we're showing you what kind of type of time we're on. I'm a big fan of artists that do stuff like this, where they're like, they create the song as they go. It's really, really dope. And it just shows how much talent a lot of these artists have when they're going in and creating these type of things. So these kinds of videos are always really sick. He said, "You're my chains." She said, "No, I'm your anchor." Ooh, that's a bar right there already. You know, sometimes it's all a matter of perspective, right? You know, are you holding me down? Or are you holding me back? You know what I mean? And I said, "Baby, you're my wings." She said, "No, you're just a fish." I said, "Baby, you're my dream." She said, "No, I'm just your wish." Again, all a matter of perspective, right? She said, I said, "You're my dream." She said, "I'm your wish." You wish. Again, all questions and matters of perspective. Magic. She said, "No, I'm just a trick." You know, we cover hip hop sometimes on here, guys. Sometimes, but it's bad when this guy out here, homie out here, has got better bars than 90% of these rappers out here. He got better bars and he's saying less, you know what I'm saying? Fucking fire. She said, "Baby, you can see me." I said, "No, baby, I just saying." She said, "Baby, you're my castle." I said, "No, honey, I'm your fence." And I said, "Baby, you're my lover." She said, "No, I'm just a maid." I said, "Baby, I love you." She said, "No, you're just afraid." I said, "No,
I said, no, baby. I said, baby, listen now. I said, no, baby, listen, I love you. I said, baby. I said, baby,
Oh my God.
baby, I love you.
Woo. Gave me the goosebumps all over the place, but that one, hold on, we gotta let him cook on that again.
I love you. I said, baby. I said, baby, I love you.
Holy fuck, man. Holy fuck. One more time. I ain't heard him sing like this yet. You know what I mean? Like a little. I knew he was fucking crazy. Talented. You know what I mean? But I ain't heard him talk to me like this before. This shit is stupid fire.
I said, baby. I said, baby, I said, baby, I love you. She said, no, you're just afraid.
Oh my God. And now we're kicking it up another notch. We just talked about in the beginning about how like already we were like showing the artisticness and like the musical talent that is like this guy himself, right? And now we're just gonna kick it up another notch and we're like, you know what? Let's do some little slide guitar action real quick. Just fuck around and just see what happens. See, this is gonna go to show you right here that like not every time that somebody pulls out the slide that it doesn't automatically make it like country music, even though it's very popular in that genre. Like seeing like the slide, like a lot of times it instantaneously makes me think about like those old guys that are just, you know what I'm saying? But like there's a handful of artists out here that have been kind of like reintroducing that idea, you know what I mean? So it's really dope when they introduce it into like the rock and roll world, you know what I mean? Because you know, distortion and all that, you know what I'm saying? But this itself, even when he's pulling it out, it doesn't change like for me like the tone or the feeling of the song at all. Like it's just that this section of it. Does that make sense? Like it doesn't all of a sudden make the feeling different of what we've gone through so far. Ay, 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 ay. That was magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. The way that he did like that, like the screaming into like the guitar and all that playing with the equipment and stuff at the end, where it sounded so smooth, like every single part of that was exactly what he wanted to do. Insane, insanely talented, crazy. I've never seen anybody like fuck with it like that, where it was like it sounded so perfect in the moment. You know what I mean? Like I've watched videos of people fucking with the noises to get it to where they want it to be, and this and that before, but all of that sounded so purposeful, which is kind of nuts. Like whether it was some fuck ups in there or not, it sounded like there weren't any at all. And when he starts getting into like that, like you know that vocal, like I don't even know what you call that, because it's not really like screaming, but like it's just he's doing like this thing where it's just like I feel like that's it represents like kind of like the same thing that like screaming I think represents in other songs, right? Where it's just like it's almost kind of like just like letting the inner emotion out through a noise, you know what I mean, and through a sound. And when like you just see like all the blood like rush like from his face and his neck and shit, where you're just seeing like every little part of like his soul kind of come out of him in a moment. Whatever that shit is. Whatever that's called. That shit was amazing. Fucking amazing. I don't even know what else to say about this one. Like I said, I was just blown away. Every song that I've listened to from him so far has been different and unique and incredibly artistic. You know what I mean? This song I feel like doesn't give me as much like room for, I guess, like, you know, I feel like the song point was a little more cut and dry. If that makes sense, where it was like a conversation between two people about their love story. And I feel like that was kind of like evident throughout it, right? But it's not really too open for interpretation that way. You could take some of the lyrical content and kind of probably make it for what you will. But overall, I feel like there was a point to the song. And I feel like that kind of is translated throughout the entire thing. I dig the fuck out of this. This is probably my favorite thing I've listened to him do so far. I think that's all I got for this one, guys. Definitely want to appreciate H-Chan again for the request. Be kind to a stranger. Tell somebody that you love them. And if you haven't joined the 5-star family, there's always room for you.